Hey y'all, it's Zach, the legal tech advisor here at Lawyerist. Today I'd like to talk to you about law firm marketing. Recently, I sat down with Emily White of BluShark Digital, and we talked about the importance of local SEO in your marketing strategy. Have a listen and see what you think. Hey y'all, this is Zach from Lawyerist, and we are here with Emily from BluShark, and we're talking a little bit about SEO. What has changed recently and what we need to kind of be on the lookout for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right up on the right path. So what the interesting part about SEO is that the fundamentals don't change, right? So you got to do the right things. You have to do the fundamental basics of building an asset for yourself, right? Your website. But one thing that does change very frequently is Google. So the Google algorithm is constantly changing.
Right.
And what your SEO company should be doing is keeping up with those changes, because you've got to be on the ball with not only adapting to changes, but then predicting them. So two kind of cool things have happened in the past year that we've been working on this stuff is, one, the Vicinity update. So this is Google's big push for proximity to the searcher. So our strategy at BluShark has always been proximity. You know, we were founded on an attorney, with a law firm, and he wanted to go out into the suburbs, and that's proximal to your searchers, right?
Right.
There's still people out there. So that's the first cool thing that's happened.
Well, so let me kind of interrupt you there. But what we're talking about is, instead of saying, I want to show up for everything around Nashville, Tennessee, so I do Nashville, Tennessee, we're saying, I want to show up for the suburbs of that area, and so I'm shooting for Brentwood.
Exactly, so that's exactly it. And what we see is that the reason why we did that strategy in the first place, fewer competitors, but there's still people out there to search.
Right.
But the change is that Google is now saying, hey, this is important to us now, this proximity really matters. Before, wasn't, you could get away with maybe sneaking out into the suburbs if you're a Nashville proper firm, but now having that office in Brentwood and having that Brentwood presence is so much more important, because Google is saying, this matters to me, and you need to be keeping up with this, because I want to get my searcher the best answer.
And that's probably what it's coming from, is that they have seen that these are not the best answers for the searcher.
Exactly.
And so you guys have been looking at that. Is there anything else kind of in this Vicinity update that would be surprising to us?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is the shakeup to the search results. So in the past, we've seen these big firms dominate, and they dominate really the whole area. So what we've seen now is kind of a shift away from that, and it gives the little guys a fighting chance. So that's the cool part about what I've seen, is that the mid-sized firms and the smaller firms actually have that advantage. So even if you're not downtown and you're a smaller firm, you're on the suburbs, that's actually going to play to your advantage. So that's one of the cool things I've seen. It's more of a demonopolization of a search. Okay.
And so you guys have been working on local SEO since inception, is really what we're saying, and y'all know where this is, and everybody that's been with you guys have already maybe had a leg up in that change.
Yep, and we've just seen the value, I think, from the start of how can we focus on the local. It always comes back to local. Can we really fixate on this so we can be anticipating these things? And it's now working out that we've seen Google trending. About 2 or 3 years ago, we saw it heading in this direction.
Yeah.
And we really fine-tuned our strategy to say, this matters, and it's going to matter much more in the future. How can we make it a well-oiled machine to have that be our approach? So I think that's why we've benefited from this. And it's all about anticipation of it. You've got to be keeping up with the updates. Google gives you hints and Easter eggs everywhere. Can you grab those and really take a strategy on and really make it so you can succeed when changes happen like this to Google?
Well, fantastic. Well, I think having somebody that is staying on top of the updates is very key.
Yeah.
Emily, thank you for joining me here. I appreciate your information.
Thanks for having me, Zach.